Jefferson Joseph DeBlanc, February 15, 1921 – November 22, 2007 was an American World War II Marine Corps fighter pilot and flying ace, credited with shooting down 9 Japanese aircraft during 2 tours of duty in the Pacific at Guadalcanal and Okinawa. On January 31, 1943, despite mechanical problems with his aircraft, he pressed forward with a mission and shot down 5 Japanese aircraft in minutes before being shot down himself. DeBlanc parachuted to safety and was rescued by native islanders, traded for a sack of rice, and picked up by a Navy seaplane. He received the Medal of Honor for his actions that day. He served in the Marine Corps Reserve until 1972. In that time, he also taught school and completed graduate and doctoral degrees in math, physics and education, commissioned as a second lieutenant in the Marine Corps Reserve on May 4, 1942. DeBlanc moved to San Diego to join Headquarters Squadron, 2nd Marine Aircraft Wing. In July, he was assigned to the Advanced Carrier Training Group, where he remained under instruction until August 6. He was placed in the new pilot's pool until, with less than 10 hours of flight time in the F-4F Wildcat, he joined VMF 112, Marine Aircraft Group 11, 1st Marine Aircraft Wing in October. 2 weeks later, he left for overseas and arrived at Guadalcanal on November 2. On November 13, Japanese Mitsubishi G-4M Betty bombers attempted to torpedo Allied ships and were intercepted by VMF 112, and in that action DeBlanc shot down 3. He was promoted to first lieutenant on December 19. On January 29, 1943, DeBlanc was forced to ditch his Wildcat and luckily landed in the wake of an American destroyer that was fleeing across Iron Bottom Sound due to a Japanese air raid. He was rescued by the destroyer and returned to flight status immediately after. Outrigger canoe to the home of an Anglican missionary, who forwarded him to 2 coast watchers, who immediately attempted contact with the Allied authorities by clandestine radio. On February 12, 3 days before his 22nd birthday, a Navy PBY Catalina patrol bomber landed in the sea off the island and tribal members paddled DeBlanc out to it in a canoe. He was flown back to his base and to the hospital. Note the chronology and aircraft types are those provided by DeBlanc for the recreation of this action and vary slightly from the citation, which is reproduced below. The Japanese Ki-43 was often mistaken for the A-6M0 fighter in the heat of combat. Further wartime service promoted to captain on June 1, he was transferred to VMF 122, Marine Aircraft Group 11, in July, and returned to the United States about 6 weeks later. Assigned to Headquarters Squadron 41, Marine Base Defense Air Group 41, Marine Corps Air Station El Toro, Santa Ana, California, DeBlanc remained with that unit until December 1943, when he was transferred to Headquarters Squadron, Marine Aircraft Group 32. 2 months later he rejoined Marine Base Defense Air Group 41. After 1 month with them, DeBlanc was assigned to VMF 461, Marine Base Defense Air Group 43 at El Centro, California. In November 1944, Captain DeBlanc returned to the Central Pacific for a second tour of overseas duty. He flew with VMF 422 in the Marshall Islands until May 1945, when he was transferred to VMF 212, engaged in the Okinawa campaign. He continued flying in the Ryukyus until the end of the war, shooting down 1 more Japanese plane to bring his total to 9. He returned to the U.S. in October 1945 and was detached to Naval Air Station in Seattle, Washington.